This is YG TV in the YG stage, powered by Circle Electric and sponsored by Fleet Farm, Health Payment Systems, and Bell Bank Mortgage. I'm your host, Andy Weins, the president of GreenUp Solutions, on set here at Serendipity Labs. At YG Stage, powered by Circle Electric, we feature business owners, CEOs, thought leaders to inspire, influence, and break the rules of business. Today, we welcome Josh Delaney. Josh is an entrepreneur and successful e-commerce business owner in the health and wellness products industry. We're going to change things up a bit on this episode of Stage. I'll be sitting down with Josh, talking to him in his own words, how he's been successful, how he's been disciplined, and what he does daily to continue to drive success. Stay tuned after this break. Circle Electric is a 35-year-old commercial, industrial, and healthcare electrical contractor with engineers and designers on staff, backed by the most technical and well-trained master and journeyman electricians. Whether it's an equipment move, new building, or commercial remodel, from pre-construction all the way through startup, primary power, branch power, or low-voltage systems, we're here to support you. Our 24/7 on-call service department is here to meet your electrical needs for our industrial and healthcare customers. You always hear safety first. We are safety always. Circle Electric will maintain electrical reliability for business continuity.
Fleet Farm has everything you need for every season of life. From tending the vegetable garden season to planting 100 acres of crops season. Fleet Farm is your one-stop shop. Whether it's strawberry jam season, cook your walleye season, or his first set of wheels season. Fleet Farm is built for every season. Fleet Farm, built for real life.
For more than 80% of families, today's medical billing practices are confusing. At HPS, our goal is to improve the healthcare experience for the patient by making medical bill payments less stressful. In Wisconsin, that's all made possible by our comprehensive independent healthcare provider network. We simplify billing and lower costs for everyone involved in healthcare and offer various ways for individuals to pay without breaking the bank.
Today, at a very special YG Stage, I bring in my good buddy and friend, Josh Delaney, e-commerce entrepreneur. We're going to sit down and talk about the ways he's been successful and what he's doing day to day that's led to the success that you can also do in your day-to-day business. Josh, thanks for joining me.
Appreciate you having me.
All right, so let's talk. You just talked about this. You made an exit from a company. Let's go back to way before you made the exit. Back
Sure.
to right e-commerce entrepreneur.
So, I mean, for the easiest part is we sell thousands of products a day online. My background is mostly in health and wellness, so health and wellness products, mostly consumables that you can reorder. Obviously, being in e-commerce, I like products that people can reorder and buy over again and again. Been doing that for 15 plus years, and I've had a good run. Like you said, we just had an exit, and that's my third, and looking to do it again here shortly, launching another company in about a month for the same thing, health and wellness, consumable products, subscription-based businesses, so that's, yeah.
Is the goal to start, build, get it to a point, and then exit? Has that been the strategy, or is that just the way it's gone?
No, I'm very keen on building businesses that can sell, but selling is not the goal. And I think that has a lot to do with how we build how we build infrastructure, how we do our bookkeeping, how we manage the business allows us to stay lean, stay tight within everything that we're doing, stay tight within budgets. It's a very sellable business, and when you do that, you just have a lot more likely of a chance to sell. But it's also a good practice to run your business well. It's a good practice to always pretend someone's looking over your shoulder. Yep. So we build very much in that way, and then sometimes it happens.
So what are some of the things that you've seen other businesses similar in your space or other industries do that you do differently, right? They don't run their business either lean or disciplined, right? They want to use intercompany transfers or, robbing Peter to pay Paul. What are some of the things that you've seen where people have failed or struggled because when they then go to sell or get that evaluation, they find out it's not there? What are those tactical things?
Exactly what you just said, no more, no less. You don't run your books good enough, you don't know your numbers, you hire wrong. A lot of, in small markets like Milwaukee, a big problem is, right person, wrong job.
Yep.
We have a lot of good talent, but we need to put the talent in the right places. So hiring poorly or, finding the right people, putting them in the wrong job, not keeping your books tight enough, not running your marketing budgets tight enough in terms of, how are you marketing or are you marketing enough? And staying focused. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I think the biggest takeaway from my, my pathway is I'm very focused on one thing. And a lot of people, how do you do that? How do you do this? And I go, well, where you were busy worrying about 10 different ideas, I sat on one.
Yep.
And I beat the heck out of one until it worked. And you're still on your 10th idea, which they're great ideas, but you got to pick one. You got to focus and pick one. And I think a lot of people get into this shiny object syndrome, and it takes discipline to sit on one thing until you get there. And we're just impatient. We're getting more impatient as a culture, and we're getting more impatient with our devices, and we're getting more impatient with ideas. And it's a shame because there's a lot of people with really good ideas, and they just don't focus on them. That's usually, I would say, out of all of the things, you can figure out how to do your bookkeeping, you can figure out how to market properly. None of this stuff is secret. None of this stuff is rocket science. It's one Google search away from figuring those things out. The discipline of focus is most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, what I see as someone's problem.
Yeah, and I've struggled with that myself. I'm in a couple different verticals. I enjoy all of them, but the deeper I get with one, the more successful it leads. We talked a little earlier about success and how one defines success. And with you, you've talked about, you obviously built the businesses, you've been disciplined. What has been your measure of success, even going back to the days when you were hawking cell phones
in business,
in high school? Yeah, what has been that successful driver which has motivated you to be disciplined?
Money. To be honest,
okay, there's no shame. No, there's no shame in it. A lot of people will say, "Oh,
forget that the point of business is making money." Yeah, people do forget that.
100%, right? And if you're selling products online,
it's honestly a big reason why I think it is the ladder of where the focus isn't disciplined. You're forgetting that it's about the money, and money has no emotion. You're too romantic about something. If you want to give away your time and money, go start a charity. And there's tons of things, and people will misconstrue this, which I don't care.
God bless.
Because when you make a bunch of money, you don't care what other people think. But the point of it is that we lose focus that the reason we're in business is to make money, and so everything that we should be doing should be centered around how do we make more money, and then the good stuff happens. I can have better employees. I can give back to charities. I can build a better business. I can create a better environment. You can do things like this. When you start to get excess cash, you can do cool stuff that affect people in a good way, and all the good, cheesy, feel good, give back, which I love.
And could you do that?
Yeah, I do a ton of it. But you can't do any of that if you don't have any money. And so we need to focus on the money. So my driver has always been what you can do with the money. So I'll backtrack it to say my answer is money, but in reality, the real answer in my heart of hearts is what you can do with the money.
Power.
Yes, and that power in all those different areas. And so in order to have that, which that was the dream, is I got to have a bunch of money. I don't care about the money, but I need to if I want to do these things.
Where does that come from? Did you grow up with money? Did you grow up without money?
No, I did not grow up with money. First job was McDonald's. First car was a $1,000 91 Honda Civic hatchback with only one mirror on the side, only one side mirror. So no, but it always came from the idea of never wanting to do that for long periods of time.
Yep.
Why that registered with me at a young age, I don't know.
Yep.
I wouldn't say there was anything special. I think it was just being young, working for my own money, and like literally flipping burgers. I don't know why it clicked, but it clicked at 14 that I was like, okay, money's real. My parents aren't gonna buy me a cell phone. I have to put in the hours to then get said money. I don't wanna do this like this. So from then, quite literally, I've had a job, almost a full-time job since 14.
Yep.
I mean, I think we obviously went to high school together,
Yep.
but we had the work release program in Menominee Falls.
SEO or
Yep,
SOE.
and I was in that from the year, I can't remember, maybe it was my freshman year or whatever year you could be eligible for
Sophomore
that.
year, yeah.
I was in the work release program
Yep.
for basically full time. So again, don't know why, or at an early age it made sense to me. But it made sense to me of like, hey, I have to do this. I need money to pay for everything, and I'm not going to work like this for the rest of my life.
Yep.
And then it, kind of progressed from there. But
So I know. So when we went to high school, you and I worked at a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
We both crossed paths at a guy that we knew had a produce stand in town, just because we were friends with his son. And I don't know if he ever worked there. I know I worked there. I remember making boxes for 10 cents a box, and that was the motivation. How many boxes can I make in an hour?
Did we work at a gas station together?
No, I worked at the BP station, or it wasn't.
I worked at the Mobile.
Yeah, you worked at the Mobile on Lilly and
Silver Spring.
Silver Spring. And I was at the.
I got fired
BP.
for stealing.
Were you stealing?
Yeah, I was. I admitted it. Yeah, I was stupid.
I like that answer. I got fired for stealing instead of I stole, therefore.
No, I stole.
Yeah, you stole it. So
I stole.
An ownership piece versus I got fired.
Yeah.
Shit happens, right? Well, you're young and dumb.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned, right? And now as a business owner, what would you do if someone?
Oh, it fired me too. Little idiot
Exactly.
kid stealing cigarettes at 16 years old. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Take a hike.
Yeah, get better.
I'll get another 16-year-old kid. That'll probably steal from me too, and I'll fire him too.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah.
Don't let it ruin their life, but
I don't blame
you
them.
can't stay here.
Yeah.
All right, so way down a random path there. Okay, so you talk about money being the driver. Now the products because you sell products.
Yep.
Right? Is there a passion for the products? You used to hawk
Yes.
cell phones. Where does that come from?
I mean, my particular passion for health and wellness products came from having like an obsession in the fitness industry, which came from quite literally like living in the gym. So a long time ago, I moved out of state near a beach, and I quite literally told myself I'm going to live on the beach, but I'm not going to go to the beach till I have a six-pack. Like that was literally the story. Went to a Gold's Gym, started learning how to work out, like had a six-pack in 90 days at like 19 years old or 20 years old. And ever since then was obsessed with fitness, but that wasn't a part of the business. So I had two lives. I had my sales career, which was in telecom and software, SaaS companies and stuff like that. And then I was in the gym. It got to the point where I was like, the only time I'm not making money is when I'm in the gym. How can I figure out a way to do that? I had moved to LA for a long time, and while I was in LA, I started meeting a lot of people in the fitness industry by default. It's obviously very prominent there. And so that was where the industry, that's where my basically being in the gym all day merged with meeting people that were on the supplement side, manufacturing side, fitness side. And that's where I said, all right, I sell a bunch of products online in the, again, software space. I could probably do the same thing in the supplement space. It makes more sense to me. It's reoccurring. All of those things make sense to me. Why don't I give this a shot? And I became an affiliate for a few companies and did really well selling proteins and superfoods and cosmetics and things like that. I really enjoyed it. And then basically transferred all of my sales efforts, affiliate marketing efforts, e-commerce efforts to health and wellness products, and kind of married those two parts of my life into one. And then ever since then, which was probably about 10 years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, has been all fitness, health, wellness, supplements, nutrition, diets, kind of everything, that you could remember from 10 years ago on. I used to have diet ebooks and, with the cheesy little book covers and all that kind of stuff. So
Was that you though on those books?
Yeah. I used to write diet programs, and I used to sell them for $50 and all that kind of stuff, do lead generation for those and run ads when Facebook would allow you to run ads for those kinds of things. Now Facebook doesn't allow you to run like weight loss ads or before and after picture ads or anything like that. But prior to all of that being banned, that was my world. And then because that got harder from a marketing standpoint, that was then the natural transition into products. Because back then it was a lot of info products, how to lose weight, how to build muscle, how to diet, how to do all that. That got harder because of the regulation and marketing that. So then, transferred into, hey, I'm selling diets. Why don't I sell them a protein powder inside of my diet? You know, why don't I sell them superfood or a multivitamin or something within my diet programs? You know, again, one got harder than the other, so I kind of reversed it.
And so at first you were working and you were hawking other people's products.
Yep.
And then turning into your own programs. And now
Yes.
these products now are your products.
Yes, yeah. So the exact same transition of hawking other people's info to then my own info, hawking my info with other people's products, then saying, hey, then just selling people's products and then attaching info to that. So then reversing the role. So the focus was more on the supplements because it was a reoccurring buy. Then from there going, hey, I now know how to make these products. I know where to make these products. You know, I can get it done for a lot cheaper. I can make better ones and then I can do it myself. And for the amount that I'm selling for somebody else for X commission, I can sell myself and keep 100%, you know, and keep my own margin basically.
Yep.
And so that was, and then now that's been, you know, I don't know, maybe five or 6 years doing that now.
Have you seen customers from way back here, you know, Josh with a six-pack, go to Gold's Gym, to now?
Oh yeah.
You've seen customers that have
Yes.
followed you on your journey and bought from you every time.
Yes.
Why is that?
Yeah, I think there's just, you know, there's people that just like you, right?
Yep.
I don't have many people that like me, but like I've got people left over that just liked me. They followed me. We've stayed friends on Facebook or Instagram or whatever the case may be. But over those, I mean, I've had tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of customers. And so from back then, it's not many, but maybe in the small thousands of people that still follow, still buy. You know, I've had a couple diet programs that were very trendy, very catchy, intermittent fasting related. So it was very trendy kind of buzzwords. I have people that were on, you know, those diets that still do that diet, you know, that I still hear from once in a while and stuff like that. I actually I've had my phone number that I've had now for a long time. And I had my phone number in one of those programs. And I still get people that will text me. And that program's been offline for years. And I'll have people that'll text me and I'll say, where on earth did you find this? And they say, oh, I had it 5 years ago and I just came across it again. I'm like, geez. So anyway, but yeah, there's still some people that pass over.
So when people text you, what do you do?
I help them. I tell them, yeah. I mean, if they ask us, yeah, it's great. You should do this. You should do that. You should buy my new stuff. You know what I mean? You know, I'll definitely upsell them. But yeah.
That's the other thing that I find interesting. It's in the social media world. There's a lot of people out there hawking themselves, and then their services, their products, right? But they hawk themselves first, and they do it in a way where they're putting their own personal values and beliefs, and then bury a message or whatever it is, or now go over here and buy this thing or buy, you know, it's all based on that influence.
Yep.
You were doing that before, really. I'll say LinkedIn, you know, maybe even LinkedIn video, because that's where it really started happening. Facebook, there's in Instagram, there's people that are selling products or they're selling, you know, the programs. But now we're seeing it on LinkedIn where people are really selling their more business acumen.
Yep.
You're not active on LinkedIn.
No.
All right, you don't really sell your business acumen, but people are still buying from you. So why is it you've made the decision, like you kind of are very holistic and I'll put myself out there in the products and services, but you don't share a lot business-wise that made you successful? Why do you think that is?
I feel that I've built a reputation on actually doing the things that I do talk about.
Yep.
And so people respect, I'm assuming, but people respect the fact that they know that I'm working on the things that I am selling.
Yep.
But they also know that I have nothing to sell for the most part as a individual person. Meaning usually nobody thinks that when they come talk to me or they meet with me or we do something like this, like I have nothing to sell.
Yep.
Even though I have a ton of stuff to sell, very respectfully to most of the people listening is like, listen, there's not enough people in this room or watching this podcast or doing whatever that could buy anything I sell that will make a dent in anything I do. But I like that, right? I've worked hard for that, but I say that out of respect to everybody else. Say, listen, if you're gonna ask me something or you want any of my advice or you want any of my suggestions, you can know that it's coming from a place of I have nothing to sell you.
Yep.
And so you can take that for what it's worth, but from what I've seen in the industry of the self-proclaimed gurus and things like that, it's hard to decipher. Yep. I try to make it very obvious and very apparent So you don't have to decipher that of like, listen, there is no agenda. I have nothing to sell you. You know what I do. You know that you buying $100 product from me is not going to make a difference. So let's set all that aside and let's focus on what it is you're here to focus on. And I feel that there is a respect that comes from that, no matter who it is. Anyone who can accomplish that level of trust from a person, an audience, their social media following, it has a different appeal to it, in my opinion. You're not just, people don't talk me up, you know what I mean? Like if I post something or do something, which is rare, I don't get messages of people patting me on the butt. I get message of tactical questions or strategic, scenarios that someone says, hey, what do you think about this or what do you think about that? I enjoy that more. It's like, I'm not here to motivate you. There's people out there to motivate you. I'm not a motivational speaker. I spent a long time speaking and I realized that never really got me anywhere. So it's like, listen, I can motivate you all day, but it's not going to get you anywhere. What are you working on? And the things that I do talk about, the way that most people perceive me is I'm actually working.
Yep.
And so the attention that I get nowadays from kind of having that reputation is more based in tactical or strategic conversation. And I enjoy that more because I can advise people on what I think they really should do. And in this wonderful world of kind of millennial business and even what's above us, boomers and
Gen X.
Yeah, Gen X. It's difficult to find people that will say this phrase, this is what I would do. It's difficult to find someone to tell you that. Yep. Even when you pay for the advice, I have a lot of lawyers and I have a lot of accountants, and it is difficult to get someone, even when you're paying them, to say, hey,
this is what I would do.
This is what I would do.
Yep.
Now, I take responsibility for my own actions if I take that advice, but I appreciate it when people tell me to say, listen, I'm asking you because you're the expert.
Yep.
What would you do? I'll read between the lines.
Yep.
I'll make the best decision for myself, but I'm asking you because I want to know if it was gun to your head, what would you do? So I like giving that and say, hey, listen, do what you want to do, but if I were you, this is what I would do because it's tactical. This is where you're at in your business. This is where you're at in your life, whatever the case may be. I enjoy being the person from that perspective.
I love that point. I think even when we hire, our goal is to hire people smarter than us to man the fighting positions within our business that we need them out, right? I need you out there to do this thing. And case in point, don't give me 3 courses of action, right? You can tell me the 3 courses of action, but then give me a recommendation. If it was my money, this is what I would do. And if I choose to take that path with you, okay. And I'm not gonna, right, at the end of the day, a lot of times business owners, they want to blame the employee. Well, you had, if you didn't like that answer, if you didn't have a better answer, that's the course of action. We're gonna win or we're gonna lose, and we're gonna learn either way if that's the right course of action. And I like that where a lot of people, it's like, here's some very broad-based, strategic, eye in the sky like ideas. Well, it's like, no, but in this situation, what would you do? Give me the information and then make a decision. I think that's one of the things that people struggle with because they want every decision to be the right decision. And the fact is, you're not going to be right every time. If you're right with 51% of your money versus the 49 that you're wrong with, you're still in business. You're still fighting for another day, but you got to make the decisions. And every day that goes by, you lose money if you don't make the decisions. If you do nothing, you lose money. That's it, because you're losing opportunity, you're paying taxes, you're paying rent, you're paying all these other things by not making those decisions. So you've relied on yourself. You've bet on yourself over and over again. Is that constant pressure and stress a problem, or do you live for that constant pressure and stress? Or is it constant pressure and stress?
It's constant pressure, it's constant stress, but I choose, and have probably developed over years, not to let it bother me. And I think that comes from a place of like where you come from as a person, and what you've gone through. I've had a great life, but I've been homeless, and it's like, but I'll spare the sob, right? There's no sob story, right? Of like, hey, I've done stuff, I've made bad decisions that have led me to flip burgers at McDonald's, live in my car, get fired for stealing cigarettes, dumb stuff, over my life, that I think, lead you to, now have a perspective where I go, listen, I have a perspective in life that I will never not know how to make money, right? And not everything is about money. And I hate when people say that because it's so cliche, but I feel like you still have to preface it. There's plenty of other things that are important, but not a lot of things you can't do without money. So I've made the commitment of like, I know how to make money, so I'm not really stressed for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not losing sleep at night because I just have the innate knowledge in my own life to like, I know how to make money. If something fails and I'm homeless again, that sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm not really too worried about it because I'll figure it out.
Yep.
I'll get back, and I don't think that'll ever happen again. But but I think where you grew up or how you've developed yourself leads to that. So there is stress and there is pressure, but I don't take it as seriously, I think, as people do. And when they are taking it over seriously, again, that's where you come back to the focus, the discipline. Why is that so stressful for you? Like, why are you so worried about that? There must be an insecurity somewhere else that is not allowing you to break through what you think is this stress or pressure.
Yeah. Because were you always that way? Or was there times where you were losing sleep and freaking out and panicking?
No, I think I've always been that way. Again, no special story. I just think from the young age of having really crappy jobs was like, no, this is not going to be my life. I don't know why that trigger happened. I don't know where that came from. I didn't have anyone around me that solicited that, but for some reason it just triggered.
I grew up in a family that struggled with money, and it was a constant fight. My father owned a business, and I struggled for years as an entrepreneur. And I think it was, I don't know, maybe sometime, during or after the pandemic, in that period where I finally, like my mom will say, let go and let God, right? But it wasn't even that. It was like, okay, like you just said, I haven't lost it. I haven't lost it all. I have something, and I've done this before, so I can do it again. Is it going to be harder? Maybe. Is it going to be different? Absolutely. But I've already accumulated this wealth because I, had companies and folded them and had partners and lost them and all the, gone through all those things. And now it's, even when I have debt now, I used to freak out when I had debt. Now I have debt. Now I'm like, okay, right. This is how many dollars I have to earn to get rid of this debt, so then I can have that life that I want after that debt or after that next hurdle or after the next investment. And I think that's where people struggle. It's like they get to this certain point and then they forget how they got there, and they're so concerned about losing it. And it's like, well, you already got there.
And we stop doing those things.
You stop doing the basics.
Very often do I see that's wrapped in that focus and discipline of entrepreneurs where it's like, hey, stop, focus here. But you can't focus because you're trying to do something new, because as humans, we're constantly trying to find a challenge, and especially in entrepreneurs, we're constantly trying to find a new challenge. But instead of finding new challenges within what's working with us right now or what's working within our business, we try to look outward to find a new challenge, which usually results in a new idea or like a new business or a new product or a new partner or like just new stuff, when in reality, we should be finding the challenges every day in the one thing we're working on, which creates momentum and creates stuff. But there's that, I see that a lot and very often.
We're going to take a pause right now. We have so much more to talk about, and I don't want you to miss out on all the insight Josh has to share with us. Tune in next episode of YG Stage to hear more from Josh Delaney. Now, are you ready to step on the stage here at Serendipity Labs? Or do you know someone that has a story to share? Help us feature the best speakers around by visiting younggunsmovement.com and apply to be a speaker here on the show. YG Stage is powered by Circle Electric and sponsored by Fleet Farm, Health Payment Systems, and Bell Bank Mortgage. If you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel or listen to episodes wherever you take in podcasts. As always, I'm your host, Andy Weins, President of GreenUp Solutions. Thanks for tuning in.